Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night with a quiet, hollow feeling in your chest? You might have a perfectly stable job, a comfortable bed, and enough food in your pantry, yet something feels fundamentally missing. In our modern society, we are constantly told that happiness is the ultimate goal of existence. We are taught to relentlessly chase after career promotions, financial security, and the perfect weekend getaway. When the loud noise of the day finally fades away, a very silent question often echoes in the dark. Is this really all there is? This pervasive sense of emptiness is not a personal failure or a psychological disorder. It is a deeply natural human experience. You are simply standing face to face with what profound philosophers call the existential vacuum. We currently live in an era of unprecedented physical comfort and technological advancement. Yet, ironically, we are experiencing an invisible epidemic of meaninglessness. We numb our overactive minds with endless digital scrolling, desperately trying to fill the void with temporary, fleeting distractions. The void always stubbornly persistent. It quietly whispers to us that mere comfort is not the same as inner fulfillment. If you have ever felt deeply tired, simply going through the daily motions of existing, please know that you are not alone. Today, we are going to explore a powerful perspective that shifts the very foundation of how we view our personal struggles. We are going to step away from the modern, exhausting obsession with happiness. Instead, we will embark on a quiet journey to find something much more durable and resilient. Welcome to BookDream. Let us open the pages of a book that was born in the darkest place in human history to find the light we so desperately need today. To truly understand this profound shift in human perspective, we must mentally travel back to the mid-20th century. We must look at the unimaginable horrors of a World War II concentration camp. Here, we meet a profound thinker named Viktor Frankl. Before the devastation of the war, Frankl was a highly respected psychiatrist and neurologist living in Vienna. He had a thriving medical practice and a deep, academic understanding of the human mind. But when he was abruptly stripped of his identity, forcefully separated from his pregnant wife, and reduced to a mere number in the Auschwitz death camp, his life changed forever. All of his previous academic theories were suddenly put to the ultimate, brutal test. He was thrown into a dark environment where human life had absolutely no value, where daily starvation and death were constant companions. And in this bleak landscape of pure despair, Frankl began to observe something entirely fascinating about his fellow suffering prisoners. He noticed clearly that the physical strength or the youth of a prisoner did not essentially determine their ultimate survival. Instead, the determining factor was an invisible, internal force. Those who lost their sense of a future meaning, those who gave up hope and could see no purpose beyond the oppressive barbed wire deteriorated rapidly and soon perished. Conversely, those who held firmly onto a specific meaning exhibited a remarkable resilience. For some, it was the burning desire to reunite with a loved one. For others, it was a piece of unfinished scientific work waiting for them. Or sometimes, it was simply the quiet determination to suffer with absolute dignity. They survived the unsurvivable. Out of this harrowing crucible, Frankl developed the concept of logotherapy. It is a psychological framework built on the fundamental premise that the primary motivational force of an individual is to find a meaningful purpose in life. His ensuing masterpiece, Man's Search for Meaning, is not just a tragic memoir of survival. It is a timeless, guiding blueprint for the human soul. First, perhaps most central insight Frankl offers is about the true nature of human freedom. He vividly describes how the brutal camp guards could violently take away absolutely everything a person possessed. They took away his warm clothes, his dignified medical profession, his beloved family, and his fundamental physical health. However, Frankl profoundly realized there was one singular thing that no human power could ever extract from him. He beautifully called it the last of the human freedoms. It is the profound internal ability to consciously choose one's own attitude in any given set of external circumstances. Even in the terrifying face of immense suffering and inevitable daily death, the prisoners retained the absolute sovereign choice of how they would mentally respond to their cruel tormentors. They could freely choose to become harsh and cruel, like their fading captors, or they could choose to walk slowly through the damp, cold barracks, quietly comforting others and sharing their last piece of bread. This realization is profoundly, beautifully empowering. It means that while you may never be able to control the unexpected tragedies or the frustrating daily inconveniences of your life, you always retain absolute control over how you choose to perceive them. And the second major insight tackles the incredibly difficult subject of unavoidable human suffering. Our rapidly moving modern culture constantly attempts to eradicate all forms of pain, treating any suffering as a terrible malfunction of a completely happy life. But Frankl wisely argued that if there is a fundamental meaning in life at all, then there must also be a deeply hidden meaning in suffering. And we are absolutely no longer able to change an external, tragic situation such as an incurable disease or the sudden, heartbreaking loss of a loved one. We are fundamentally challenged to look inward and change ourselves. Unavoidable suffering ceases to be merely painful. The exact moment forms a clear, dignified meaning. By bearing our inevitable suffering bravely in the dark, we powerfully convert a personal tragedy into a massive, undeniable human triumph. Frankl is certainly not suggesting that we should actively seek out unnecessary pain just to be noble. Rather, he deeply teaches that when profound pain inevitably arrives uninvited at our doorstep, we do not have to be helplessly destroyed by it. We can thoughtfully use it as a profound canvas to display the resilience and quiet dignity of the indestructible human spirit. Frankl's third critical insight completely flips our traditional, anxious approach to finding our life's purpose. Frequently, we sit down in silence and anxiously ask ourselves, what do I want from my life today? We often treat our existence as if it is a giant vending machine that naturally owes us a specific level of ongoing happiness or financial success. Frankl clearly states that this is entirely the wrong question to ask. He proposes a dramatic, Copernican shift in our daily mindset. We must realize that it doesn't really matter what we desperately expect from life, but rather, what life intimately and quietly expects from us. Life is constantly questioning us, challenging us every single day through our unique circumstances. Our answer must not consist in quiet talk or deep philosophical meditation alone, but in taking the right daily action and right, compassionate conduct. We who get to demand the meaning of life. We are the ones who are being intensely questioned by it, and how do we practically apply this ancient wisdom to our busy, modern, and often chaotic daily lives? It simply begins by accepting deep personal responsibility. When you are stuck in a deeply frustrating traffic jam, or facing a highly difficult conflict at work, pause and recognize the quiet space between the external stimulus and your internal response. In that brief, silent, and sacred gap lies your ultimate human freedom to consciously choose your attitude. Instead of bitterly asking, why is this terrible thing currently happening to me? You can firmly and gently shift your mental framework. Ask yourself clearly, what is this specific situation asking of me right now? Perhaps this difficult, annoying moment is quietly asking you for more patience. Perhaps this challenging interpersonal relationship is firmly demanding that you practice deeper understanding and forgiveness. Real meaning is very rarely found in grand, cinematic, heroic gestures. It is carefully woven into the quiet, everyday responsibilities we consciously choose to bravely accept. We find our meaning through the meaningful daily work we dedicate ourselves to, through the deep love we quietly express to our family, and through the steadfast courage we display during our quietest, hardest hours. As we slowly close the pages of this remarkable, life-changing book today, I want to leave you with a profound, lingering final thought. Meaning is not something you passively discover sitting on a couch, like a hidden treasure chest buried in the sand waiting to be found. Meaning is something you actively and intentionally create through the daily choices you make. It is built solidly in the crucible of your actions, your accepted responsibilities, and your chosen attitude towards the unavoidable pain in your life. Viktor Frankl taught us the ultimate lesson. A human being is fundamentally not governed by their external conditions, but by their internal decisions. You are not merely a helpless victim of your circumstances. You are the sole, powerful architect of your response to them. And the next time you feel that quiet, hollow emptiness creeping back into your chest late at night, do not immediately rush to distract yourself with a glowing screen or a superficial, temporary pleasure. Sit quietly with the silence. Understand deeply that the void is simply life's way of inviting you to step up, to take responsibility, and to define clearly who you truly want to be. Give yourself the immense, relieving permission to step off the exhausting, endless treadmill of simply chasing elusive happiness. Start walking the steady, deeply fulfilling path of building real meaning. Thank you for taking this quiet, intellectual journey of reflection with us today on BookDream. We sincerely hope these philosophical insights bring a sense of profound peace and lasting clarity to your daily struggles. If this deep message resonated deeply within your heart today, please gently subscribe to our channel and like this video so we can continue to share these transformative insights with you. We will return next week with another powerful piece of timeless wisdom to continually enrich your soul. Until then, take a deep breath, embrace your ultimate freedom, and live deeply.